Welcome to our deep dive today, and we're going to be looking at how space exploration is having a huge impact back here on Earth.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people just think of space as this thing out there,
Yeah.
totally separate,
Yeah.
from our daily lives. But all these innovations happening up in orbit are actually changing things down here in so many ways.
Yeah, and we have some really great insights for this deep dive from Sierra Space,
Yeah.
a big player in commercial space, and they've got some really interesting stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, Sierra Space is highlighting microgravity research as a real game changer. So maybe we could start there.
Okay.
For those of us who aren't astronauts, what exactly is microgravity and why should we care?
Well, you can just imagine a place where everything's practically weightless.
Okay.
That's microgravity. It's what astronauts experience on the ISS, and it creates this totally unique environment for doing research.
So like a giant reset button for science?
Exactly.
Hmm.
By removing gravity from the equation, we can study things in a totally new way, and this can lead to all kinds of breakthroughs.
I like that, a reset button. I've never heard it put like that before, but it makes total sense.
Yeah.
So it's like we're taking something we think we understand,
Yeah.
and suddenly we're seeing it from this whole new angle.
Exactly.
So what kind of breakthroughs are we talking about here? What's the real world impact?
Well, let's take pharmaceuticals, for example.
Okay.
Microgravity lets scientists grow these larger, more pure protein crystals.
Hmm?
And these crystals are actually essential for understanding the structure of diseases at a molecular level.
At a molecular level. Wow.
And with that knowledge, researchers can then design drugs that are much more effective and targeted. They personalize medicine,
Oh, wow.
tailored to your specific genetic makeup.
That's incredible. So it's like taking a magnifying glass to the building blocks of disease.
Exactly.
But it's not just medicine, right? You mentioned other fields benefiting from microgravity research.
Oh, absolutely. Think about material science.
Oh.
In microgravity, we can create materials that just have properties that are impossible to achieve here on Earth. So stronger, lighter, more durable materials.
Like lighter and stronger airplanes, more efficient solar panels,
Exactly.
maybe even self-healing materials.
Yeah, the possibilities are amazing.
That's pretty wild. And this is all happening on the International Space Station, right? It feels so far away.
Well, the ISS is really a testament to what we can achieve when we all work together.
Yeah.
International collaboration. And it's not just governments working up there.
Right.
Companies like Sierra Space are actually conducting experiments up there,
Wow.
making these incredible discoveries. And it's happening right now, not in some distant future.
That's what blows my mind. This isn't science fiction. It's happening today.
It is. It's happening today.
That's amazing. And speaking of the present Sierra Space is also really emphasizing the expanding market opportunities in the space industry. It's not just for government agencies anymore, is it?
Exactly. We're seeing this huge shift with private companies like Sierra Space becoming major players. They're making space more accessible and driving all this innovation. And it's creating a whole new economy up there.
Wow, whole new economy. What are we talking about? Research, manufacturing, even tourism.
All that research, manufacturing, and even tourism beyond Earth's atmosphere.
So what does this mean for like the average person? Like, are we talking space vacations becoming a reality, or are there benefits to this expanding space economy that are a little more, down to earth?
Well, job creation's a big one. The space industry is absolutely booming, and it's actually projected to be worth $1 trillion by 2040. So this means a huge demand for skilled workers in all sorts of fields. Sierra Space themselves have raised over $1.3 billion in capital, and they employ over 2,000 people.
That's a pretty impressive example. So it's not just about astronauts anymore. What kind of jobs are we talking about? Are we talking designing habitats, managing space traffic, maybe even mining asteroids? I mean,
Yeah.
those are some serious resume builders.
The possibilities are really endless. And it's not just about finding work. It's about, pushing the boundaries of human ingenuity and creating a future where space is just an integral part of our lives.
I think that's where it starts to get really exciting for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we've covered the incredible potential of microgravity research and this expanding space economy, but I want to bring it back down to Earth for a moment.
Okay.
Sierra Space also talks about how space exploration can help us with some of the big challenges that we're facing here, like sustainability.
Yeah, that's a really critical point. Space exploration isn't about abandoning Earth. It's about learning from it and using that knowledge to protect it.
Sierra Space highlights space-based solar power as a potential game changer for renewable energy.
Okay, so instead of relying on solar panels down here, we could capture the sun's energy directly from space. Is that even possible?
Imagine harnessing the power of the sun without any limitations from the weather or nighttime.
We could collect solar energy 24/7 and beam it back to Earth wirelessly. It's a bold vision, but it has the potential to just revolutionize how we power our world.
Clean energy beamed down from space, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and creating a more sustainable future.
Exactly.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
It is a big goal, but it's not the only way space exploration is contributing to sustainability.
Okay.
Sierra Space is also developing reusable spacecraft, like their Dream Chaser spaceplane.
Yeah.
It's designed to make multiple trips to and from the ISS, which makes space travel more cost-effective and environmentally friendly.
So it's like the space shuttle,
Yeah,
but way cooler and more efficient.
exactly.
That focus on reusability is something we need more of, both in space and here on Earth.
Absolutely. The Dream Chaser really embodies that shift towards sustainability in the space industry.
Okay, I have to ask, if we're talking about reusable spacecraft, does that mean space tourism is becoming more of a reality? Like, could I book a flight on the Dream Chaser someday?
Well, the Dream Chaser is currently designed for cargo missions to the ISS.
Yeah.
The technology it uses definitely opens up those possibilities for the future, including space tourism.
Okay, listeners, imagine a future where your weekend getaway could involve a trip to a space hotel. Now, that's a vacation I would sign up for.
Absolutely.
But before we get too carried away with space tourism, let's not forget about another important aspect that Sierra Space highlights, which is international cooperation. They see space exploration as a unifying force for humanity.
This is a really crucial point. Space exploration often requires nations to work together, share knowledge and resources to achieve these common goals. This collaboration builds trust and it strengthens diplomatic ties, which can then have these positive ripple effects back here on Earth.
They specifically mentioned the International Space Station as a great example of this, and the ExoMars program, which is a joint effort between NASA and the European Space Agency, as another.
Yeah, these are just two examples of how space exploration really transcends borders and brings people together in the pursuit of scientific discovery and human advancement.
It's amazing to think that something as vast and as seemingly distant as space can actually help us with cooperation and unity down here. It's like we're all looking up at the same stars, and it reminds us that we're all connected in some way.
Yeah, that shared perspective is incredibly powerful. And it speaks to this broader idea that space exploration is about so much more than just, rockets and astronauts.
No.
It's about pushing the boundaries of human understanding and working together to achieve incredible things.
Well said. And that brings us to the end of part one of our space exploration deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground,
Here we have.
from the wonders of microgravity research to the potential for a thriving space economy and the importance of international cooperation, but we're just getting started.
Stay tuned for part two, where we're going to delve even deeper into how space exploration is shaping our world and what the future holds for humanity's journey beyond Earth. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of space exploration.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, we're really getting into some fascinating stuff here.
Yeah, and before we go any further, I think it's important to address something that comes up a lot when we talk about,
Yeah.
space exploration.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, the idea that maybe we should be focusing more on problems here on Earth instead of, spending all this time and money on space.
Right, it's a valid concern for sure. But Sierra Space makes a really compelling argument. They say that space exploration isn't about escaping Earth's problems. It's about finding solutions that can benefit everyone.
So it's not an either situation.
Right.
It's more like we can use what we learn from space to actually help solve those problems.
Exactly. It's like a both-hand situation.
Yeah.
Take climate change, for instance. We talked about space-based solar power, providing a clean, sustainable source of energy.
Right.
But it goes beyond that, too. The data we collect from satellites is crucial for monitoring environmental changes, tracking deforestation, predicting natural disasters.
Oh,
It's really amazing.
So it's like having this global view of what's happening to our planet, and that helps us understand and then hopefully address those challenges more effectively.
Exactly. And don't forget about the potential advancements in material science and agriculture that could come from microgravity research. Imagine developing crops that are more resilient to drought or creating new materials that are biodegradable and sustainable.
Right.
These kinds of breakthroughs could have a huge impact on our ability to tackle climate change and resource scarcity.
That's really interesting because it challenges that perception that space exploration is somehow separate
Yeah.
from the issues we're dealing with here. It's actually intertwined with finding solutions.
Right. It's all connected.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also, goes beyond just those immediate solutions. Space exploration has this incredible ability to inspire
Oh,
future generations to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, math, those STEM fields.
absolutely. It sparks that curiosity and imagination.
Yeah, Sierra Space actually mentioned their commitment to STEM education as a key part of their mission.
Oh, it's great.
They see it as vital for inspiring, that next generation of explorers and innovators.
It's so important because it's not just about training future astronauts or rocket scientists. It's about giving young people the skills and the knowledge to tackle any challenge, whether it's finding a cure for a disease, developing sustainable energy solutions, or even traveling to Mars.
Yeah, that sense of possibility is so important, especially for young people who are going to inherit all these challenges.
Exactly.
And I want to pause here for a second and ask our listener a question. What are your thoughts on this connection between space exploration and solving problems back here on Earth? Do you see it as a distraction, a potential source of solutions, or something else entirely? We'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, let's know what you think.
Okay, now before we move on, there's one more aspect we need to address. What about the search for extraterrestrial life? Is that part of the equation when we talk about the benefits of space exploration?
It's a huge question.
Yeah.
It's captivated humanity for centuries. Are we alone in the universe? And space exploration is really in a unique position to help us answer that question.
I can only imagine what kind of impact it would have if we were to discover evidence of life beyond Earth.
Yeah.
It would completely change our understanding of our place in the universe.
It would be one of the most profound discoveries in human history.
Yeah.
Challenging our assumptions about the origins of life, the nature of intelligence, and the possibilities for the future.
It's almost too big to even comprehend.
It really is.
But that's the beauty of space exploration, right? It constantly pushes us to think beyond our current understanding and grapple with those big questions.
It's about venturing into the unknown, driven by that insatiable curiosity that seems to be at the core of what makes us human, and who knows what we might find out there.
Okay, I think our brains are officially in overdrive at this point.
Mine too.
We've explored how space exploration is driving innovation, tackling these global challenges, even inspiring the next generation. But there's still so much more to uncover.
Yeah, we've only just scratched the surface.
So join us for part 3, where we'll look at the future of humanity's journey beyond Earth.
We'll be discussing the potential for commercial space travel, and maybe even get a glimpse of what life might be like on a multiplanetary society. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into space exploration. We've seen how it's impacting life on Earth in some remarkable ways.
Yeah, it has been remarkable.
From scientific breakthroughs to new economic opportunities. But as we venture further into the cosmos, we're also facing some pretty big questions about the future.
It's true. As we push further into space, we're not just dealing with technological challenges.
Right.
We're also running into some really profound ethical dilemmas. Questions about resource allocation,
Oh, yeah.
environmental impact, and even the potential for extraterrestrial contact are all becoming really important.
Okay, so let's dive into some of these ethical considerations then. Resource allocation is a big one.
So-
As space exploration becomes more commercialized,
Uh-huh.
who gets to benefit from the resources we find out there? Is it a free-for-all, or do we need some kind of international agreement to make sure that, things are fair?
That's a debate that's gaining a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Some people believe that space resources should be like a common heritage of humanity,
Right.
meaning that everybody benefits others.
Yeah.
Argue for a more hands-off approach, allowing private companies to just claim and utilize what they discover.
It's a complex issue for sure, especially when you consider the potential value of these resources.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about asteroids that could be rich in precious metals, the possibility of mining on the moon, and even harnessing energy from the sun in space.
Yeah.
The stakes are high, and finding a balance between, economic opportunity and ethical responsibility is going to be crucial.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that space exploration benefits everyone and not just worsen the inequalities we already have here on Earth.
And then there's the environmental impact to consider. We've already seen the issue of space debris, becoming a concern with old satellites and rocket parts cluttering up Earth's orbit.
Yeah, it's a growing problem, and it could jeopardize both current and future space missions. As space travel becomes more common, we need to be really mindful of our footprint and ensure the long-term sustainability of our activities beyond Earth.
Right, we can't just go around polluting other planets after what we've done to our own.
Exactly.
We talked earlier about Sierra Space's reusable spacecraft, like the Dream Chaser being part of the solution. What other steps can we take to ensure that space exploration is responsible?
Well, there are a lot of initiatives underway, from developing technologies to capture and remove space debris to establishing international guidelines for managing space traffic. It's similar to the environmental movement here on Earth,
Right.
but on this much grander scale.
So we're essentially applying those same principles of sustainability and responsible stewardship
Exactly.
to our activities in space.
Okay.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the future of human space travel. Sierra Space is really involved in developing these commercial space stations. What's the vision there? Are we talking about space hotels, research labs, or something else entirely?
It's kind of a blend of all of those things. And more, the idea behind commercial space stations is to create these platforms for a wide range of activities, from scientific research and manufacturing to tourism and even entertainment.
Wait, entertainment? Are we talking about zero gravity concerts and space-themed reality shows?
Oh,
That's a whole new level of entertainment I hadn't even considered.
it might sound far-fetched now, but as the space industry keeps evolving, the possibilities for human experiences beyond Earth are pretty much limitless.
Yeah.
Imagine attending a space conference, experiencing weightlessness, or even celebrating a special occasion with a view of Earth from orbit.
Now, that's a future I can get behind, but let's not forget about, I think, the biggest question of all, the one that's been kind of lingering in the background of this whole conversation. What happens if we actually make contact with extraterrestrial life?
It's the ultimate unknown,
Yeah.
and it's a question with huge implications for philosophy,
Hmm.
religion science,
Hmm.
even our own sense of identity.
Hmm.
Discovering that we're not alone in the universe would be just monumental.
Yeah.
It would force us to rethink everything we thought we knew about life intelligence and just the vastness of the cosmos.
It's truly mind-boggling to even try to wrap your head around it.
It really is.
But I think that's what makes space exploration so captivating. It constantly pushes us, beyond the limits of our understanding, and it confronts us with these huge questions about our existence.
It's true.
Yeah.
And as we journey further into the unknown, one thing is certain space exploration will continue to shape not only our technology and understanding of the universe, but also our culture, our values, and our very sense of who we are as human beings.
Well, we've reached the end of our space exploration deep dive, and I have to say I'm feeling both inspired and humbled by the sheer scale of what we've discussed.
Me too.
We've journeyed from the marvels of microgravity research to the ethical considerations of exploring space, the potential for commercial space travel, and the mind-blowing possibility of encountering extraterrestrial life. It's been quite a ride.
It really has. And I think it highlights, the power of human curiosity and ingenuity and our desire to explore the unknown.
Definitely. And what we've learned is that space exploration is about so much more than just leaving Earth.
Right.
It's about understanding our place in the cosmos, finding solutions to global challenges, and ultimately shaping a better future for all of humanity.
Well said.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. What if the solutions to some of humanity's biggest challenges are waiting to be discovered beyond our atmosphere? Until next time, keep looking up and keep exploring.